guys? Today we are ranking the top 30 strongest characters in Wano, and this took me a while, but before we get started, I just want to say I'm only using the live characters. Kazuki Oden is not on my list. Had he been in the list, he would have been top 3. Just letting you know right now, because Kaido, the strongest character on the list, is literally still gassing him. I think it comes to no surprise that Kaido is the strongest on the list, but yeah. Anyways, let's start at number 30. So Ulti started us off at number 30. I think there are 29 characters on this island stronger than Ulti. I apologize to my Ulti stands. I don't know why, but y'all saw her beat base Luffy in a headbutt and y'all gassed her. However, I ain't knocking Ulti because she's durable as hell and she's pretty strong, but there's characters on this list that we can very much assume to be stronger. At 29, we got Sasaki, and at 28, we got Black Maria, who has the second highest bounty within the Tobiropo. This was a surprise to me when it first got revealed, but she is worth 8 million more than Sasaki's. They seem to be relative, and their bounty suggests Black Maria might be slightly stronger. And I know bounties don't always determine strength because we know damn well Jack ain't at Katakuri's level, but when we're using two characters from the same crew, it's safe to assume the one with the higher bounty is stronger in most cases. Thought I would drop those both to better explain what's going on. For 27, we got Robin, and you guys gotta listen, Robin essentially mid-diffed a woman who's almost worth 500 million, and if we're being honest, it was only mid-diff because Robin chose to transform mid-fight. The moment she transformed, the tides changed and Maria got body bagged. I think it's safe to assume Robin is stronger than both Sasaki and Black Maria. She even learned Fishman techniques and has more attacks yet to be seen taught to her by Sabo and the Revolutionaries. I don't know why I said Revolutionaries. For 26, we got Frankie. Now, even though Frankie defeated somebody worth more than Sasaki, I believe Robin would be a bad match for Frankie. Her attacks seem better suited on people with bones and not cyborgs. Her bone clutching techniques wouldn't be that effective. And he has light beams and air cannons. He's very slept on. Shout out Frankosuke. He is going to beat Robin. At the 27th spot, Frankie grabs 26. 25 is X-Drake. This guy is a letdown, not gonna lie to you. He got bodied by the CP0 agents, and this dude Izo came from fighting Kaido and dog walked them and killed one of them. Had Izo been as healthy as Drake was, he would have stomped them. But I guess it's safe to say Drake is stronger than Frankie, but I don't know. It might be interchangeable for me, but you guys can decide that. These bottom slots are pretty interchangeable. 24 is a CP0 agent that's alive, definitely stronger than X-Drake, but against Frankie, some of his attacks might not be that effective. He seems to be faster than Frankie for sure. You guys decide that in the comments who wins between the CP0 agent and Frankie. 23 is Who's Who, one of my favorite One Piece characters right now. This dude was giving Jinbei a little bit of trouble, and he honestly got mid-diff, but that CP0 agent is definitely not beating Jinbei or giving him as much trouble as Who's Who. This man's Ruko Shiki is advanced, and he's very talented. Now, as we move up, we're getting into the good stuff. We're starting to get with the Scabbards, and I do believe they're relative, but there is always someone stronger in the end, so I rank them according to what we've seen from them and how they fight. Some of them are interchangeable for me. Some are deserving of their spot. Also, Raizo did not make my top 30 list. I didn't think it would be fair to say he could beat Ulti and win. That would be disingenuous to say, but yeah. At 22, we have Kiku. I think she is probably almost as strong as her brother. But that is her older brother, so I assume he is more powerful. He also killed a CP0 agent while fighting two of them, just saying. And, he did this after getting packed up by Kaido, just saying. So for the weakest Scabbard, besides Raizo, I believe it's Kiku. Also the arm thing, she was the only one that lost a limb from that attack, just saying. But respect to Kiku though, she knows Ryo, and that's impressive in its own right. For 21, we have Izo. We saw our first hockey bullets in the series, and I believe nobody cares. I think we are aware hockey bullets existed, but it's nice to see them used. Although Izo hasn't specifically stated they have hockey coated on them, he clearly is able to hurt Kaido as we've seen in the manga and the anime. We also have characters who specifically use guns, and it would make sense that they could coat their bullets in hockey. Like Ben Beckman, for example, he challenged Kizaru with the gun, and he can't be so stupid to think regular bullets would work on a Logia, so he must coat his bullets to similar how they do in Amazon Lily. So I think Izo is probably doing the same thing. Now to start off the top 20, we have Kinemon, who some of you think should be the strongest one. I personally don't see it. I think he ranges in the middle. There are a few Scabbards I think could give him a run for his money, definitely. At 19, we have Kawamatsu, the Fishman, who I thought was going to be a GOAT, but he was pretty average among the Scabbards. His swordplay is top tier amongst the Scabbards, and his introduction was so lit. I remember the first time they talked about the cage, and I wanted to know what was so dangerous in there. We now know it was this guy, but still a good introduction. At 18, we have Dendro. This man was cutting Kaido's ships in half when he switched sides, and he gave Zoro a lot of trouble too. Although, let's keep it a buck, Zoro was not going all out for Dendro. But for 17 and 16, I think they are pretty much equal. But if I had to choose, I'd say 17 is Dogstorm and 16 is Cat Viper. Only because they're both missing limbs, but Dogstorm has a sword leg and Cat Viper has an artillery arm. I just feel like Cat Viper's is more effective because it's a gun for an arm. So yeah, but I honestly think it would be a stalemate if they ever fought. For number 15, we have Jack. Y'all better get tight, but relax. I will explain. Although Jack has never beaten either of them, he fought both of them back to back while they got to take breaks, and he stood his ground. And the only time they really brought him down is when they double team him. I believe they're relative to Jack, but he's a tad bit stronger. 14, the strongest Scabbard in my opinion, Ashura Doji. The only one who has seriously battled against Odin amongst the Scabbards. He had a name for himself before even joining Odin in the gang. And for the end of the fight, we know Odin had visible wounds and was bleeding. Even though he won, it speaks to Ashura Doji's strength. Again, when it comes to the Scabbards, you can make your argument for them. I do believe they are relative, but this is how I see them in order of strength. Feel free to switch it around if you want. Ain't a big deal to me. Those were the bottom like 16 slots. Now we're about to get into the good stuff, the people you aka actually care about, right? So starting us off at 13, we got Jinbei. The first son of the sea is a powerhouse, able to land attacks on the likes of Big Mom, defend against Akainu, even if only for a little. It's hard to counter magma with water, first of all. Also, he's proficient in armament hockey. His observation seems pretty average, but he has incredible fishman techniques, some of the best among his race. This is all on land too. In the water, you can basically double his strength, to be honest. That's my headcanon though, but he would get a power boost from fighting in water, like all fishmen would. However, as impressive as Jinbei is, the characters above him are all capable of landing blows on Yonko and Admirals. For number 12, we got Queen the Plague, and honestly, I had trouble putting him above Jinbei, but when we look at his fruit, his weaponry, durability, and endurance, Jinbei would lose in the long term. However, I do believe Jinbei 100% hits harder than Queen, but with all of Queen's abilities, I can see Jinbei losing. We also have to remember Queen is no scrub. Just because Sanji destroyed him doesn't mean he's weak. He was able to put Big Mom to sleep, and I know she was already out of her mind, but it's still a feat. And if you think Jinbei beats Queen, I wouldn't be mad at that either. Those are honestly interchangeable for me. For 11, we got Killer, who has low-key become a favorite of mine this arc. Dude was boxing with Zoro, Kaido, Hawkins. Killer's been putting in more work than Kid. I'll say it now and I won't say it again. Killer has been putting in more work than Kid. He does have some sort of dynamic with Kid, as Zoro does with Luffy. I think he can definitely defeat Queen, because I think endurance and durability wise, Queen may take it. But Killer would dog walk Queen. Not gonna lie, this dude's attacks were phasing through Kaido's body, had that boy screaming. Queen could never in a million years make Kaido scream about anything, so Killer definitely deserves his spot at number 12. Now it's time. Oh, I said 12. I meant 11. Killer deserves a spot at 11. Time for the top 10, the big leagues, boys. Not just in Wano, but these 10 characters would definitely be in my top 30 list in One Piece, period, of alive characters. Drop a comment if you want me to make a top 30 list of all One Piece characters dead or alive. For number 10, we got the fry cook himself, Mr. Prince. He and Zoro are my favorite characters in One Piece right now, and I wish I could put him higher. We just need more feats from his new Kryptonian powers. This man now has plasma flames or whatever it is. With a new volume color, Oda has basically revealed Sanji's feet are burning so hot it's creating plasma lightning or something like that. So yeah, he has the most powerful flame abilities on the island right now. Just want to let that be known. Marco as well, but his are basically due to special properties. But in terms of destructive power, Sanji has the best flames right now, even better than Kaido's regular orange flames. I believe our boy Sanji is being set up to take down Kizaru and will one day surpass the Man of Light, probably in the final war or something. I imagine Luffy needs his top 2 commanders to be able to take on admirals, so Sanji is sitting at a cool number 10. Okay, for number 9, we got Kid. I don't even want to put him above Sanji, but it looks like Oda is trying to put him on par with the likes of Law. I still think Law is way more powerful. I'm not going to pretend for the sake of this list. I'm going to keep it a buck. Law claps Kid. However, Kid was able to hurt Big Mom multiple times with his metal, which is no different from the metal he was already using, but whatever. I guess for whatever reason, his metal is magically super powerful now. I still hate this part of Wano. Kid makes me angry, not gonna lie to you, but his railgun was fire, and that does seem pretty powerful. I'm glad he can do something different besides metal now. And for number 8, we got King, and some of you probably are tight and you're reaching for your keyboard to type angrily in the comments. I need you to relax, bro. I need you to take a deep breath and let it out. You know what I'm saying? Because there are 7 people on the island capable of beating him, in my opinion. His durability is probably the best on the island. However, there are clearly ways to get around it, as we saw from Zoro vs. King. And once you do get around it, as long as you're strong or stronger than the 7 characters above him, you can defeat him. So that brings us to number 7, Marco. I think it's pretty insane that this is seen as a bad take when Marco was literally dog walking king and queen at the same time, took on all 3 admirals at different periods, and took on Blackbeard. Even though he lost, I don't see the characters below him taking on Blackbeard at all. Marco was the most trusted Whitebeard commander among Whitebeard's ship and has decades of experience on the sea. I don't care if King is invincible half the time. If he keeps the flame on, he'll be too slow to catch Marco, so he'll have to turn it off anyway. So in my opinion, Marco slaps King. Number 6, we got Yamato, and number 5, we got Law. Now, I think this is debatable because we have to use what we know in the story. Now, while Yamato is no doubt more durable than Law, he's been doing more damage than Yamato has. Law's attacks versus Kaido weren't even his awakened abilities, and it still made Kaido refer to Law as dangerous. When it came to Yamato, her attacks were doing damage, but he wasn't reacting in the same regard. And we also saw what Law did against Big Mom, so I guess if he had used those abilities against Kaido, it would have done a lot more damage than what Yamato was doing, right? Yamato's attacks would violate Law, but at the same time, he just seems to be more broken overall. So it's very close, but 6 goes to Yamato and 5 goes to Law. The way I see the strongest within the arc should be the characters with Conqueror's coding. I know a lot of YouTubers hate this sentiment because of their bias and agendas, but being 100% factual and listening to what Kaido said, only a select few of the very strongest can use this coding. So even the strongest character we've seen so far is telling us how OP it is. And his own personal top 5 are all Conqueror's coders with it. 3 of them are confirmed, while 2 are speculation, but we can pretty much assume they also use Conqueror's coding. It would be pretty ridiculous if they didn't. Law is the only exception because his fruit is OP, and you know, the people who have done the most against Kaido in this chapter are all Conqueror's coders besides Law. Yamato held him off 1v1 longer than any other person besides Luffy. You would have to be delusional to say anyone below her can 1v1 Kaido to this extended period. We saw them fail. So all this talk that Yamato is below King or Marco is blasphemy. I won't let the agenda take control. Conqueror's coders on top. For number 4, we have Zoro. Now, when it comes to Zoro, I think now that he has learned to control his coding, he's above Yamato and Law. Before this, I was not so sure. Because Law's abilities just bypass the defense of Kaido and Big Mom, and Yamato has mastery over a mythical zone fruit that Kaido speaks highly of, and she can control her Conqueror's coding. Before the fight with King, I had Zoro below Law and Yamato because of that small detail, but now that he can control it, I believe Zoro would bury Yamato and Law. Here's why. Kaido shines a light on the fighters that impress him. Law got his props and they were well deserved. Yamato held her own 1v1 and she got her props, but he called her attacks weak, or at least weak compared to the monsters. He called her attacks weak, or at least weak compared to the other people who have been attacking. The moment Zoro's attacks with Ashura, he scarred Kaido. And remember, this is after Zoro broke 30 to 40 bones trying to block the strongest attack we've seen in One Piece history. Now imagine if he hadn't already broken all those bones. Imagine if he were in control of his Conqueror's coding at the time, he would have done a lot more than scar Kaido. There's no doubt in my mind. There should be no doubt in any of your minds. But from the jump, Zoro's Conqueror's coding has been more potent than Yamato's. It's honestly clear that it's closer to Luffy's than it is to Yamato's. Mind you, this is all Zoro unconsciously doing it. The scar he left Kaido was him unconsciously using Conqueror's coding. Now that he can control it, he should be doing a lot more damage. And he should be able to use a lot more attacks like with Conqueror's coded. He also just started seeing himself in Odin's shoes while using Enma. So I'd like to give another Odin feat. This is why Odin would be in my top 3. Even Kaido is speaking highly of the dude. Like, come on now, right? Now for the top 3, which are pretty damn obvious. Number 3 is none other than Monkey D. Luffy, the man who is now officially a Yonko. Although I believe Zoro is relative, I believe Luffy's Conquerors is just stronger overall, and his Ryo is superior, so there's that as well. And as I said in my Zoro vs Sanji video, Zoro's affinity is armament while Luffy's is Conquerors, so it's a no-brainer here why Luffy is number 3. He's the only one currently doing the most damage to Kaido, obviously besides Big Mom. And at number 2, we have none other than Charlene herself, who just revealed another ability she can use, which is pretty cracked. Using lifespan to make herself stronger, pretty crazy. Also, she fought Kaido for 3 days straight, so it's safe to assume she's second only to Kaido right now. Luffy may be doing well against him right now, but he would not last 3 days against Kaido or Big Mom. And number one, obviously, is Kai Do himself. No explanation needed. But yeah, you guys get it. And yeah, we are done with the top 30 list. That's insane. I feel like I've been sitting here for like an hour. But that was a pretty huge list, pretty exhausted. Just think about how long this took me to make. Drop a like down below if you enjoyed today's video. Subscribe for more One Piece content like this. And let me know if you guys agree or disagree with any slots that I have on my top 30 list. I'd love to talk to you guys and like get to know what you guys think about like my ranking. Let me know what you guys think about the characters I have and what place they have them at. And I want to know what you guys think about these certain characters. I want to know your thoughts. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.